The head of the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, Vitold Banca, is responsible for the words, he promised to transfer the case of Kamila Valieva to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, he did. What he proudly announced on his Twitter. Very soon, the verdict in the case of Kamila Valieva may become known. In December last year, the figure skater passed a positive doping test for trimetazidine. The violation became known right during the 2022 Olympics, from which student Atari Tutberidze was not removed. The Russian team, which won gold in the team tournament, was left without an awards ceremony and medals, like the rest of the competition winners. The case was entrusted to investigate the Russian anti-doping agency, WADA, which took the very sample from Valieva. And so, in September, it became known that the investigation was completed, but no one would publicly announce the verdict. They referred to the fact that Kamila is a protected person as a minor. She was 15 years old at the time of taking the sample. The International Olympic Committee and the World Anti-Doping Agency spoke out sharply against this alignment. The head of the IOC, Thomas Bach, clearly outlined his position. WADA is obliged to make public the data on the Valieva case, so that everyone has more confidence in this process. WADA President Vitold Banca went further and threatened to sue. WADA is concerned about the ongoing delay in the Kamila Valieva case and has now officially notified WADA that if the matter is not resolved as soon as possible, we will exercise our right to take it directly to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, Banca tweeted. Less than 2 weeks later, the head of WADA issued a new tweet, moving from threats to action. Despite the official notification from WADA that the case of Kamila Valieva will be resolved as soon as possible, no progress has been made. Therefore, I can confirm that WADA has formally referred the case directly to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. The silence of WADA pissed off the bosses from above. Our agency was already given more than the prescribed 6 months to investigate and make a decision. Now CAS will deal with the story of Valieva. More precisely, he must receive a package of documents from WADA with the details of the investigation, and only then gather arbitrators and pass a verdict. You won't have to wait long. One thing is clear for sure, that whatever the CAS decision is, it will be unrealistic to challenge it to Valieva and her team. Honored coach of the USSR Tatyana Tarasova spoke about the doping case of figure skater Kamila Valieva. The man is pure. What can be taken from it? You can transfer the case anywhere, but the person will be clean everywhere, Tarasova said. They need to do it, that's all. I am not aware of all the nuances, but Valieva is clean. It cannot be otherwise. This situation worries her, although everyone understands that Kamila is not to blame, added Tarasova. Lawyer Anna Anselievich commented on the transfer of the doping case of Kamila Valieva to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS. It was expected that this case would definitely come to CAS. Initially, I assumed that an agreement would be reached by all parties and everyone would immediately turn to CAS. This is logical. With any decision, there would be a side that would be dissatisfied. I think that this will only speed up all the decision-making procedures. Now there is no need to hold hearings, bring documents. They will go directly to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. There was news about 2 or 3 weeks ago that WADA officially notified WADA that they want to get a decision within a certain time. Apparently, the time is up, or they, WADA, see that the case will not be completed in due time and, accordingly, referred the case to CAS, as if WADA fully acquitted the athlete. Based on the statement of the president of WADA, we can conclude that there was no meeting and the case, accordingly, is not completed. WADA did not issue a final verdict. Maybe there was some kind of intermediate, we do not know. But the meeting that would have made the decision, yes, there was none. Now the final decision will be with CAS? Yes. The decision was to be made by the WADA Disciplinary Anti-Doping Committee. Now, instead of him, the Court of Arbitration for Sport will make a decision, Anselievich said. Dmitry Svishchev, a member of the Committee of the State Duma of the Russian Federation for Physical Culture, Sports, Tourism, and Youth Affairs, gave his comments. I don't know why WADA thinks there is no progress on the Rosada decision. I consider the investigation into Valieva's case completely unfair. But I really hope that CAS will make the right decision in relation to the Russian athlete. The CAS position was announced a few months ago. The athlete is under protection due to her age. Certain regulatory actions are needed. But the worst predictions came true. I think there is an opportunity and a need in CAS to challenge all decisions. Yes, there is nothing to dispute now, but it is necessary to prepare an evidence base about the innocence of our athlete, said Svishchev. Commentator Dmitry Guberniev appreciated the news about the transfer of the doping case of Kamila Valieva to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS. I think this is a normal procedure. The court will decide what happens next. There is law enforcement practice. The court will decide after listening to our arguments and those people who accuse. As far as I understand, this is part of Roman law, the competitive process. In this case, sports jurisdiction. Our country needs to prove the accident of this story and its innocence, that's all. Estimating the odds is difficult. This process is closed for us. Nobody knows anything. According to tradition, if we have muddy water, and they try to fish in it, don't expect anything good, all the fish will swim away, Guberniev said. Choreographer Alexei Zeleznyakov also gave his comments. To be honest, I don't understand what is going on. I don't understand why it took so long. I have full confidence in the purity of Valieva. This is either a provocation or just a fake samples. Some ill-wishers could add something to Kamila. They could pour it into a bottle or add it to food. This is almost impossible to follow. I know all our girls like family. For Valieva to use doping is nonsense for me. She was at her peak, she didn't need anything. She was given such a doping by God that anyone would envy. Kamila is not a stupid girl. To take doping before the Olympics and the World Cup is a death sentence. But I am sure that this is not her story. She would not have touched any doping in her life, Zeleznyakov said. Olympic champion Alexei Urmanov spoke about Kamila Valieva's jumps after the end of the free program at the Russian Grand Prix in Kazan. To be honest, I don't remember such a precedent for someone to do something like this ever. Let me put it mildly, actually, this is not the way we do it. In competitive practice, which lasts quite a lot of years, I don't remember this. Have you ever seen that during a diving tournament, after an unsuccessful attempt, an athlete climbed up the tower again and made another jump? Is such an option possible? Therefore, it is not customary to do this, Urmanov said.